Another weather-affected race for the NASCAR Cup Series. Martin Truex Jr. gets his third win of the season. NASCAR silly season is in full effect. And I predicted the winner of last week's race.
Yes, you did. Welcome back to Too Fast Exiting, episode 2. This week we are going to recap the New Hampshire Speedway race, go over our news and rumors for the week, do a Pocono preview, weather report, of course, by me, and our picks for this winner this week.
Well, you can officially say this ain't our first rodeo. We've done it once before. If you had told me last week we'd have another podcast or another YouTube video this week, I would say maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
Say maybe.
Yeah. So, another race affected by the rain. And it got moved to Sunday. It's terrible for people like me. I had to work. So, I had to sneak to watch the race on mute, on my phone. Miserable.
I'm sure a lot of people were doing that, though.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. You were off Monday.
I was watching.
Yeah. I saw a lot of people were upset because there was one streaming service that you would go to watch the race, and you were watching the replay, and it already had Martin Truex Jr. celebrating, so it kind of spoiled the ending for everybody.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Yeah, that's the problem with these weather-affected races. But Truex won. I called it. If you paid attention last week, and you put money on the man that I told you to put money on, you would have won plus $650. So if you would have bet 100, you would have won $650. If you'd bet $1, you would have won $6.50. If you'd bet $10, you would have won $65. I can't really do the math other than the tens.
That's pretty good, yeah.
If you had bet $2, you would have won 13 cents.
Got it.
Goodwill Hunting over here.
Also, you were the only one with a correct prediction. I said Xfinity's going to be fine. They're going to get their whole race in, and Cup's going to be moved to Monday. And what happened?
See, that's why you got to listen. That's why you got to watch this show. All right, so our top 10s from this past week. Truex, who got his third win of the season. Logano, Larson, Harvick, Keselowski, Reddick, Hamlin, Wallace, who was my long shot.
Yeah.
Dillon, Austin type, and Briscoe. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that all right? All right.
My long shot was way in the back.
Cedric? Yeah.
I guess I took long shot a little too literally.
Speaking of shot, a
Yeah.
little bit of shine.
He didn't have a chance, but that's okay. I'm going to do better this week.
Okay, so your favorite was a top 10.
Yes, he was up there.
Now, there are certain sports books that can do top threes, head-to-heads, and stuff like that. So if you hear one of our favorites and you don't necessarily agree with it, but you think it might be an okay go, bet on them in the top 3, bet them in the top 5. Whatever you got to do. Win you some money.
I'm going to say I made different picks when we did our fantasy.
Right.
And I'm still winning the fantasy. To all of our fantasy people that are out there watching. Still in the top.
Yeah, but our buddy Dove Top Stuff is coming for you.
I know, it's only
like
a couple
4 points, I think. Okay.
I've only been knocked out of the top 1 week, so.
By Captain B.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, y'all. I'm sorry, that's an inside thing. All right, so Almirola leading the race. Rex.
Yeah.
We saw that play out a lot in Pocono last year. That's coming up. And maybe it doesn't pay to lead sometimes. Busch, I think, and LaJoy wrecked in damn near the same spot. All right.
Yeah. They both went into the wall.
Yeah,
and they were trying that higher lane.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't pull it off.
And the speculation was there may have been something on the track.
No,
but
it
wasn't, right?
Busch, when they interviewed Busch, he said, "No, there's nothing on the track. I was just trying to get up higher and see if I could use more space up there to do some passing, and just lost it." And I feel like LaJoy probably saw him up there, and he's like, "Oh, I want to do that too," and also lost it into the wall.
That's a damn shame. But he did get his car running. He still does not have a DNF.
Yes, Busch
You're
does.
the only driver.
Busch did not get his car running. He was out.
Towards the end of the race, I'm pulling for Truex because I picked him. That's my silver fox. My man's doing it. And caution. And caution.
Oh, I know.
And questionable cautions, in my opinion. The cars kept going. I've seen them not throw the caution before for that. And they did it later on. There was another, can't remember now, somebody brushed the wall and they didn't call the caution.
I feel like there's a different person with the finger on the button.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're really quick at that caution, and sometimes they wait and see if the car can get going. And
Yeah.
I guess somebody was just a little trigger happy on those cautions.
I'll say NASCAR's gotten better. From back in the day, they used to throw debris cautions like it was nobody's business. So they've gotten better. But I feel like these late cautions sometimes are just to have chaos right there at the end.
Yeah. I mean, I love a restart. Love a good restart.
So who all, since we are called too fast exiting, who all got caught too fast exiting? I know my boy Corey got caught too fast entering.
Entering. Doesn't count. That doesn't
Doesn't
count.
count.
I mean, I wrote it down, but it doesn't count.
Too fast entering.
Too fast exiting was Austin Dillon.
Mm-hmm.
That was also when Corey was too fast entering. It was
And
the
he
same,
still got a top 10.
the same pit stop.
Wow.
Tyler Reddick and BJ McLeod.
Well, two of those guys got a top 10 finish after that, so it didn't set them back too far.
Imagine if they hadn't done that.
Yeah, imagine if BJ McLeod hadn't been caught too fast exiting.
We'll never know.
Could have been his first win.
We'll never know.
Goodness gracious. All right, so I think, is there anything else you want to cover from Loudon?
I had a couple notes. I feel like the racing was really aggressive from the very get-go.
Yeah?
Which surprised me a little bit.
I saw a lot of passing. I was
They
pretty
were going
surprised.
hard from the beginning.
Yeah, I saw a lot of 3 wide.
Yeah. And then, turn two. Turn two was an issue for everyone. I think that might have been where Bush and LaJoy got into the wall coming out of turn 2 there. That was a problem for everybody. So
Again, I was watching it on mute.
Yeah.
Which is good. I didn't get to get freaked out by Dale Earnhardt Jr., but I still would have rather heard what everybody was saying.
Yeah, but so something to think of for next year, getting out of turn 2. Maybe they'll fix it. I don't know if they can.
Okay.
But yeah, that was my little things I noticed.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's go to the news and rumors then. Today, breaking news.
Yeah.
Justin Haley is going over to Rick Ware Racing. I figured something was going to happen with Rick Ware Racing, but I figured they were going to sell that charter, one of the charters, because Cody had his brush up with the law, allegedly. So I figured they were probably going to sell off a charter, which is where I'll get to that in a minute. Well, I'll tell you, that's where I thought SVG might go.
Right.
Wherever that charter got sold, because that's another, spoiler alert, another rumor is Shane Van Giz.
I don't know.
I'm a C+ student
Don't
at best.
ask me.
I'm not even going to try
SVG.
to. SVG.
SVG.
Here, we'll put the name at the bottom.
At
There.
least we
Now,
can
see?
say DeBenedetto.
Yeah,
The
Matty-
announcers can't.
Matty D.
Both.
That's why we do SVG. We could do
SVG.
Shaney V. I don't know. Something. But my C+ ass is not going to try to run across that word because I will trip and fall.
Yeah.
But yeah, Justin Haley's going to go to Rick Ware Racing. I feel like a step back. But I had a section where we're going to discuss where we thought SVG might go if he comes to NASCAR, which I thought Trackhouse was definitely a front runner.
Yeah.
I think 2311, Denny Hamlin has proven with Reddick, he'll go after somebody. If he wants him, he'll go get him.
But Trackhouse did talk about last year trying to get more international racers in.
Right.
So I feel like that would be a good in.
Yeah. So what this does to me is I already had Colleague on my radar, but I thought Colleague would get rid of Almirola
Yeah.
and then put SVG there.
Well, do we know
Well-
what's happening with him?
Well, he is still there for now, but with Haley leaving Colleague, that opens a spot for, I think, SVG
That's true.
to move in. Then you have 2 road course ringers racing on the same team, sharing the same data. You might as well just shut down on road courses.
And they're talking about adding more road courses next year, so it'd be a good move.
Yeah. Well, there's also another rumor.
Oh, no.
They may be getting rid of one of the road courses. They
Oh,
may
really?
be, Indy may be going back to the Oval.
Oh, okay.
Goodyear's rumored to be going out to test a softer tire, which will make more tire wear, more passing.
Mm-hmm.
That was the problem they had, I guess, the last time they were there. It was a boring race. It got the first Brickyard 400, the inaugural one, was awesome.
Right.
I'm a Gordon fan, or at the time I was a Gordon fan, so
Yeah, I don't mind.
It was awesome for me. But it kind of dwindled down as far as fan support and viewership. So I don't like road courses. That's me personally.
I love them. I think they're fun.
I prefer super speedways.
I know. I don't. I'm all road course. I love road courses. I think they're so much fun to watch.
They can be, I guess. At the end is usually pretty good.
You remember Chastain was just like cutting the course and going around all the traffic?
And got punished. I think that was a risk. I don't think that was a good penalty.
He
All right.
loves making up new rules, though. It wasn't a rule at the time.
Yeah, now you can't ride the wall either.
No.
I don't think anybody else is going to. But all right, so where should SV? Now that we talked about Haley, I think that's a step down for Haley.
Yeah.
But he may have been told by colleague, "Hey, we're gonna try to get Shane SVG in here, Shaney V.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to get Shaney V in here. We'll help you get your foot in the door somewhere else, maybe." But I don't know why. But Haley's been on a streak here lately. I don't know.
It hasn't
Something's
won,
there.
though.
Something's there. Now I know that Rick Ware Racing has an alliance now with RFK Racing.
Mhm.
So maybe they see that RFK is coming up. Maybe Haley is looking at that. I don't know, but Chevy lost, I think, a good future star with Haley.
We've been all about Haley lately.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know where it came from. All right, so where do you think SVG should go if he comes to NASCAR?
I said Trackhouse.
Trackhouse?
Yeah.
I think Trackhouse would be a good fit for him.
Yeah.
I think that's where he should try to go, but where's Trackhouse going to get that other charter? I thought they would get it from Rick Ware Racing with Cody Ware being out.
Yeah.
But now that they've filled a seat with Justin Haley, I don't know. I think he goes, like I said, I think he goes to college now.
Okay. Well, we about beat that to death.
Yeah, okay, so
What's next?
Elton Sawyer, the competition dude in NASCAR, has come out and said
Right.
he had a stern discussion with all three series
Mm-hmm.
about restarts because they've had data that shows the second and third rows are holding up, which is what caught my guy, Justin
Yeah.
Allgaier,
When they
in the Xfinity race.
when they all stacked on each other and you had the
Yeah.
what do the announcers love to say, the accordion effect going
Right.
on.
But hey, shout out to my boy Allgaier. He came back and got a top 5 finish,
Yeah.
or top 10 finish.
He didn't get too much damage in that. Some people did.
He was taped up pretty good. All right, so what's going to happen now? You know, since they've gone through the data and everything, Elton Sawyer has told the teams, if you hold back on the restart, second, third row, anybody that just messes up the restart on purpose, you are going to be black flagged and have a drive-through penalty.
Yeah.
Stiff penalty, but the damage you could cause to the other cars,
So they can see that in real time.
I don't know about real time, but
I
I
know
think
they went back and looked
I think
at
the
it.
eyeball test you can look at and be like, hey, he's holding up. He's checked up too much. You know, I think it's going to be one of those decisions that they're just going to make on the fly,
Right.
by case basis. We'll just see how it goes. But anyway, speaking of NASCAR silly season, Truex was asked if he was going to stick around, and he said he's not good at making big decisions. I think after 3 wins this year already,
Mm-hmm.
I think he sticks around another
Oh
year.
yeah. He's got the momentum. You can't just stop.
What about Almirola?
That's what I was saying earlier. Like we don't know.
Because that would be another good seat for SVG. And I could see Stewart going
I
after
don't
somebody like
see
that.
him like unless he's got something else to do.
He wanted to spend time with his family before this past season when he was going to retire.
Right.
But if he leaves, there again, you lose Smithfield. You've already lost Busch Beer. I don't know.
That'd be a big hit.
I don't know.
They might. I feel like they'll try to keep him at least another year.
Yeah. I would hope so. I like Almirola. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
All the drivers seem to like him too. Him and Bubba got in a little tiff at one point, but I mean, I think
I'm sure they're over it.
everybody likes it. All right. So, do you think
No.
No. Chase Elliott can still make the playoffs?
No. I
No.
don't.
No.
No.
Why?
As soon as I saw that, I was like, no, there's no way.
All right, he's 60 points out. There's 6 races.
Out of
That's
6
10
races.
points each race. But he has
Or
to
win.
gain it or win. I think he still has a shot to point himself in, but it's not going to be on him. It's going to be he has to have a good race, and a whole host of other drivers have to have a bad race.
Right.
All right, so
Can he point his way in? Because if he can't point, I don't think he's going to point.
I think he can. He's 60 points
Can he
out.
get a win and get in?
Yeah. I mean, that's the easy way.
Yeah, that's
All
more
right.
likely.
So the cutoff line right now, if we start at 12,
Mm-hmm.
you've got Harvick, who I believe is plus 137.
Mm-hmm.
Brad K. Keselowski, he's 13th, plus 108. Busher is plus 97. I think they're out of reach. I think they're good.
For sure.
Okay, so then you go to 15th and 16th. You've got Bubba Wallace, who's 2 points ahead of the cut line.
Right.
And then you have Michael McDowell, who's 1 point ahead of the cut line.
What about Suarez? I thought he was 1 point.
Suarez is 1 point below the cut line. Yeah. And then you have Allmendinger, who we talked about earlier. He's 20 down. Ty Gibbs is 54 down. And then, not 54 down, 41. Is that right? Somewhere in there.
Oh.
And then I think Alex Bowman, 42 down.
Okay.
I think. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, Chase Elliott's just outside the top 20.
Yeah, I don't. Can he point his way in? No. Can he win something and get in? Maybe.
Okay.
But I don't see him point. He's not going to point his way in.
All right, let's go on to Pocono.
Pocono.
The tricky triangle. So last year, Elliott did win. After,
Yeah.
granted,
Hamlin won.
after Hamlin and Busch were disqualified. Hamlin, by the way, winningest driver at Pocono.
Yeah.
If
But I
you-
couldn't pick him twice in a row.
If you're going to pick a winner, pick him.
I couldn't pick
But
him
you
twice.
can listen to what I'm going to say later and pick who I'm going to pick. But Hamlin is an easy bet. He's the winningest active driver from Pocono, or that races at Pocono.
Right.
So, I mean, that, all 3 series will be racing this weekend at Pocono.
Yes.
Truck starts at 12 Eastern, 11 in God's country. Xfinity starts at 5:30 Eastern. Both those are on Saturday.
Okay.
And then on Sunday you have the Cup race at 2:30 Eastern. Let's see. Last year, coming out of, I guess it would be turn 3, because there's no turn 4 at Pocono, they say. I think there's 6 turns at Pocono. I may be on an island by myself on that. But if you say it's 3 turns, coming out of, I believe it would be turn 3, coming down to the start-finish line.
Right.
Last year we saw a lot of wrecks. Usually the leader, again, weird, the leader, wrecking right there, coming off turn 3, spins out, hitting the inside wall over and over. Blaney, well, there's a whole host of others, but I can't remember off the top of my head, but crashing into that inside wall.
I think it's that pressure of trying to stay in the lead and not let that guy behind you get to you, and you push yourself a little bit too hard.
Yeah, get a little loose, overcorrect maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think.
So that'll be a spot to watch. Watch turn 3, because that could come down to the start-finish line at the end of the race.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? It'd be like when Larson blew, was it Larson that blew a tire and smashed the wall a few years ago? Or last year?
I don't remember that.
I don't know.
That memory is horrible.
All right. It's been 1 year, and it seems like longer. It's been 1 year since Ty Gibbs started racing in the Cup Series when he took over for Kurt Busch last year.
Wow, it does seem like longer.
Yeah. Kurt hurt himself qualifying, I think, and got a concussion, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that was his last race
Yeah.
to attend, or to race in. But
Yeah.
Ty took over then, and so this is his first repeat race.
Oh, you started at Pocono.
He started at Pocono,
Gotcha.
and
Okay.
they told him to log laps, basically.
Yeah.
But it seems like Ty has been there for a while. He doesn't seem like
It's been a long
he's
year.
a rookie.
I know.
That's wild to me. It feels like he's an elderly statesman at the ripe age of 12 or however old he is.
They all look 12 to me.
All
All
right.
the new guys.
Are we going to be able to get the race in this weekend?
Yes, good news. So, what, the past 4,
Ever
5 races?
Ever
have
since
been
NBC
out?
took over, weather has been like,
Right.
hey, fuck you guys.
Yeah, so we are not going to expect any rain this weekend. It is going to be sunny, maybe a little bit of clouds, and like high 70s all weekend long. We're looking good finally. This should be the first race in a long time that doesn't get weather delayed.
Okay. High five to that.
I know.
All right.
I'm hoping.
Are you ready to make our picks?
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm going to be the one. Next episode, we're going to be saying that Ash was right.
All right. Since I won last week, I'll let you go first this week.
Oh, thank you. Such a gentleman. All right, my winner. I think it's going to be Kyle Larson.
Damn, that's a good pick.
That's a good pick.
That's a good pick.
They said on the broadcast, you didn't hear it because you were watching on mute. They said, if you want to know what they're going to do in Pocono, watch what they do in Loudon.
Okay.
So I'm going with Larson, and then my long shot is going to be Reddick.
Why wouldn't you go Truex then?
I didn't feel like he was going to be such a long shot, but what'd you say?
Yeah.
Plus 14.
Yeah.
So he's a long
Plus
shot.
1,400, yeah. My long shot was going to be my favorite, but the people in Vegas decided to make my favorite a long shot. So I went with another favorite. I'm going with Kyle Busch. Plus 550. He's my favorite
DNF.
to win this race.
He's going to DNF again.
Hey, look, I jinxed him. I said he was my favorite to win the championship last week.
Yeah.
And I'll be goddamn, he didn't go around there and just finish
Every
dead
time
last.
I pick him, he DNFs. Every time.
All right, so my long shot was originally my favorite. All right. Then I saw the odds and I was like, dang, they made him a long shot? Give me the money. That's fine.
I didn't think Reddick would be a long shot.
We talked about him earlier. We talked about how he can get in. Chase Elliott.
No.
Write it down. I told you to do it last week. You didn't listen. Do it this week. Write it
You
down.
don't know they didn't listen.
Chase Elliott is going to win this race and earn himself a playoff spot.
We'll see. We'll see.
He's plus 1,200. He barely made that is our threshold for long shot, plus 1,200. He barely made it, but he's a long shot.
I'm gonna say I picked Larson this week, and I hate seeing Larson win all the damn time, but I picked him, so
Yeah.
I put my feelings aside for this.
I couldn't go with Hamlin.
I couldn't. No, I picked him last week.
It's too handed to you on a silver plate.
Yeah.
And if it's too good to be
Obvious.
true, I'm not going to take it.
No.
Now, would I take him in the top 3, top 5? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't think he's going to pull off the win.
No, me either. I couldn't go for him again.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been your favorite tan girl with white teeth and white guy with tan teeth. Tune in next week as we talk about Chase Elliott's win.
No. We're going to talk about how I was right about everything. That's what we're going to talk about next week.
We'll talk about how I got to watch the whole race on Sunday.
Anyway, like, comment, ask us questions. Nobody asked us any questions.
Oh.
I think we got a roll tide. That was about it.
Subscribe.
See, that's
Subscribe.
Yeah, we've proven we can do 2 episodes at least.
If
so
you subscribe,
3.
because look, we've got some stuff coming down the pipe we can't talk about right now. But there may be interviews and other things that'll go on during the week.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You
it
don't know.
may not just be Fridays that we post. We may have some big interviews coming up that will be during the week.
And eventually we are going to be at Bristol.
Yeah.
And we will probably be doing some stuff there. You don't know. You'll have to watch and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So subscribe.
We may even live stream a race one day.
Yeah.
And watch it
the
with
Wi-Fi-
you clowns.
The Wi-Fi at Bristol sucks, so we definitely won't be doing that there. But, you never know. So, give us some comments, ask us some questions. Is there anything you want us to talk about next week? Let us know, and we will definitely do it because there's like 5 of y'all watching us. So, thank y'all.
And I love you.
See you next week.